Since so many Caucasus people are suffering from psychotic episodes when it comes to the scriptures, I thought we'd take a close look at the word delusional to begin this video. Delusional comes from the Latin word meaning deceiving. So delusional thinking is kind of like deceiving yourself by believing outrageous things. Delusional thoughts are often a sign of mental illness. This is because it doesn't matter how much overwhelming evidence or facts are presented to the people or the person who suffers from delusional thoughts, they will still believe whatever they think in their own mind. You see, the powers that be know that the Hebrew Israelites are of Negroid descent, but they continue to perpetrate a lie and keep this top secret while telling the world that the Jews in Israel today are YAH'S chosen people.
Why do white people pay so much attention to black people if they don't like them? You would think if you didn't like something, why would you be paying attention to it? I don't pay attention to things I don't like.
What's the answer?
The answer is the liar knows what lie he told. You see what I'm saying? So even if I made it deceitful and I made you think that the answer is over here, but the answer is really over here, I'm still going to be looking over here. Me, the one that tricked, because I know this is the right answer. Black people have lost their identity, but our oppressors have not lost our identity. That's just why they chopped those noses off of the Pharaoh and the Sphinx in Egypt in the first place. Is because without this nose, we can tell you this is whoever it is. But with that nigga nose, it can only be niggas. Why would...
I am black, but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. You know, I find it ironic and quite annoying that the heathens always say color doesn't matter. You see, we're dealing with delusion, psychosis, insanity, and high levels of demonic possession in these heathens. Because why would they say color doesn't matter, yet they're the ones who changed the entire Bible to white characters? So apparently, color does matter to them. Because if it didn't, why didn't they just leave the characters black? They did this to deceive us all into thinking that the color white is superior and black is inferior. The majority of our people today think that white people are superior to us and have no idea that the biblical characters, as well as our Messiah, looks just like us. In regards to the Messiah, color matters. Because by changing his color, it deprives our people of learning not only who Yahushua is, but who we are in relation to him. This is not just top secret, but the biggest cover-up in history. They didn't just whitewash the scriptures, but to further keep this line going and the disconnect so that we would never find out who we are. We, as a people, have been called many different names throughout our history here in Americas, from the oldest term, the N-word, to the more recent term African American. But in Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 37, the Most High told our ancestors that we would become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations where Yahuwah would lead us because of our disobedience. So essentially, the Most High used our oppressors as his belt. Only one thing, they have gone too far. We were supposed to be taken into this last captivity as slaves and servants, as Yahuwah would never approve of his chosen people being beat, tortured, mutilated, imprisoned, sodomized, eaten, and many other horrific forms of punishment. I want to take the time to read a message that came from a commenter. Her name looks like it's Ellen, but I renamed her Karen. Because, you know, these people, I tell you, they're delusional, they're psychotic, and they have no sense of reality, and they're super insensitive when it comes to the atrocities that they have caused the Most High's chosen people. Now, I don't know her actual nationality, but I'm guessing that she's Caucasus because the way she's speaking. And I did ask her what her nationality was, but she never replied. So she decided that she would post Deuteronomy 28 and 63 as if it's her place, in which reads, "Just as it pleased Yahuwah to make you prosper and multiply, so also it will please him to annihilate you and destroy you, and you will be uprooted from the land you are entering to possess." She also posted verse 64, which says, "Then Yahuwah will scatter you among all the nations from one end of the earth to the other, and there you will worship other gods, gods of wood and stone, which neither you nor your fathers have known." And she posted 65. "Among those nations you will find no repose, not even a resting place for the soles of your foot. There Yahuwah will give you a trembling heart, failing eyes." And then to those verses she wrote, "Yes, horrible things were and continue to be suffered by Israel, but it can't be forgotten why it is so. Being angry at Yah or blaming those he chose to use to bring about his promised curses just shows a lack of true repentance and a continued unwillingness to walk in his ways in spirit and truth." Now you see how crazy, psychotic, delusional, and insane these people are? They go from literally one extreme to another. Many of them do not want to admit that black people are the Israelites of the Bible. But if they do admit to it, they're going to make sure that they say we got what we deserved, and don't be mad at them for the Most High using them to punish us. I don't think I will ever get tired of letting you heathens know that this channel is not for you, and I won't get tired of deleting ignorant comments or using them for educational purposes. But I sincerely hope, Ellen, that you keep that same energy when the curses are put on you. You see, these people, they pick and choose what verses they want to focus on because she didn't say anything about the blessings, nor did she mention Deuteronomy chapter 30, verses 6 through 7, where it talks about Yahuwah putting all the curses that we're under on our enemies. Let's read it. It says, "And Yahuwah thy Elohim will circumcise thine heart and the heart of thy seed." A seed line means DNA, not spiritual Israel, but Israel by DNA. That's what seed means in this context. It says to love Yahuwah thy Elohim with all thine heart and with all thy soul, that thou may live. And verse 7 goes on to say, "And Yahuwah thy Elohim will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee." So all the curses that black people been going through is shifting to our enemies. The generational, physical, psychological, and economical curses are all currently shifting little by little to those who hate us, and all the nations who continue to take part in our persecution. And don't think for 1 minute that these heathens don't feel the shift happening, as they are hanging on by a very thin piece of thread. And they're doing everything in their power to keep their heaven here on earth. They are desperate to stay in power, and that's why they are bringing Trump back, because he always promised them that he's going to make America great again. We know he's not speaking to the so-called African Americans because America has never been great for us. But remember how we started this video? We defined what the word delusion means. We know that the heathens suffer from insanity, psychosis, and strong delusion. And most of America suffer from delusion. And just making up their own version of the scriptures is just part of their delusion. There are many different facets that are causing them to suffer from their mental illness. If you do your due diligence and study to find out where Esau came from, then you'll understand why they are so wicked in the first place. I'll go ahead and put a link in my description box so that you can click on this video from Nephilim to Neanderthals mixing with Esau. This video will give you a head start. It will aid you in understanding the origins of Nephilim, Neanderthals, and Esau mixing, because people tend to think that anyone outside of the nation of Israel can be saved if they're deemed a Gentile. And this is true as per scripture to a certain extent. You have to know who the Gentiles are. You see, there's some vital information being left out when it comes to this topic, because what we're not adding is that everyone can't be a Gentile outside of Israel because of the fact there is a serpent seed here on this earth. So go ahead and watch that video if you haven't already. I just kind of wanted to add one thing. I see a lot of people coming to the videos and they're commenting based on the title of the video, and you really shouldn't do that, because I'm noticing that some of your questions and comments have already been covered in the video. Now, if you have an issue watching a 10 to 12 minute video, then you really shouldn't comment, because I understand that we have busy lives, and that's part of the reason that I only make 10 to 12 minute videos. Rarely do I make 20 to 30 minute videos. But when you guys ask me questions and the answers in the video, or you want me to go back, videos in the past to explain what my platform is about, I'm sorry, I don't have time to do that. Part of the reason that I make these short videos is because it benefits you guys as well as myself, because I have a life and I know you do. So just do me the courtesy of watching the video, or maybe watching some of it and going back and watching the rest later before you send comments, because if you don't watch the video and you comment out of ignorance, I quickly can draw a conclusion that you're being emotional by basing your comment or question solely off of the title, instead of giving me the courtesy of explaining my title in the video, in which is always based on biblical facts. Just know that I can always tell who didn't watch the video based on your comment or question. So when you're making reference to my videos, I can always remember exactly what I put in them, because my videos are so short. So at a glance, when I see a comment or question, I can always tell right away if you watch the video. Anyway, this concludes my video. Feel free to leave respectful comments or questions in the comment section. Do not forget to watch the video from Nephilim to Neanderthals, mixing with Esau. May Yahuwah bless you and keep you all safe in this dark hour. And remember Matthew chapter 24 and verse 13, he that endures unto the end